So our lead story tonight that we started off with, BAISS basketball playoffs, and
Entertaining all games.
entertaining all games because it was the Giant Pride. It was the St. John's show.
It was St. something. It could have been St. Andrews.
Game 1 was the St. John's show across the board. Now,
Game 1, 2, and 3.
I didn't get to do this. When I say Game 1, I mean for all divisions. I didn't get to do this in the newscast because I was heavily edited and censored by John. But you have to admit that what St. John's has done, becoming the best program right now in BAISS basketball, it's an impressive feat.
You know what's really impressive? The junior boys basketball team. Like, no, the legitimate,
Yes.
but you know what I feel? I don't know if this is true, but this is me coming with my own opinion. I feel like Daston has his hand not in every team, but he's around it enough to maybe help coaches. Like, I always see him helping other coaches. So he has a helping hand, and to me, that's a great thing because
That's a heady play is what that is because, hey, I have a place where you can send this player. I have a place where you can send this player. You know where all of those players will come? To me, where I decide to be head coach at St. John's.
at St. John's.
That's a heady play. I think they should play in Hugh Campbell.
Oh, for sure.
I just think so. At some
Should we put
points-
all their teams together and just make one giant squad with the girls and boys?
I don't know what the senior boys team look like, and no disrespect to any of the senior boys on St. John's, but I feel like you should just put the team that's doing what they're doing right now into Hugh Campbell. That's just the way it is. But let's start it from the top. Junior girls, St. John's defeated number 1 seed SAC. The junior boys we were just talking about, the most impressive team top to bottom. And I think one of the players we got to spotlight is Javez Colby. And so
Strong basketball name in the Bahamas.
every year we have these players that I like to call them you got to get them out of here all-stars.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is number 1 on the card to get him out here.
So we'd see these players, and the first thought, it jumps out at the screen, and you say, well, yeah, they got to leave. They got to leave because to excel in this sport, you got to leave here to be better. I think he's got to go. 6'6" kid, recently just turned 14. You can see very raw skill set, but the potential to be great.
He has good hand-eye coordination, good foot coordination. He just looks goofy because I think he's growing faster than he could adjust to. I mean, you know who he did remind me of, like running up and down the court? Frederick.
Which is a great comparison.
I know. I'm not saying it's a terrible comparison.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but that's what that reminded me of. You have a big kid. Because remember, we watched Frederick. Frederick wasn't as big as him at 14.
No, I remember watching.
He's a solid fill.
Remember watching Frederick at D.W. Davis. Who was not at this level.
He wasn't that, and he seems more controlled.
That's the baseball.
Yeah, than Frederick. But I feel like that's a comparison, a comparable comparison, because Frederick didn't show the athleticism like that, but you see he had it, and with Kobe, I feel the same way, that he has some athleticism to him that's going to be able to maybe, hopefully this year, go off to school.
Got to get.
But he has a coach that is willing to let his kids go.
The thing is, and I think that St. John's junior team has 3 got to get out of here all-stars. I think Leonardo Roll is one. I think DeAlfred Gibson's another one. Because if you look at the Prince Will junior team that won last year, they had 3 got to get out of here all-stars.
Yeah.
So that when you see teams as good, that's what we expect. We don't expect you. I mean, again, no disrespect to any of the senior programs, but when you target them at a young age, this is what scouts, this is what all of these programs in the U.S. are looking for. So Colby number 1 on the got to get out of here all-stars. In the senior division, C.W. Saunders going for the repeat, and they're well on their way with that. But we got to talk about the performance Raj Smith has put on.
Oh, yeah, that was impressive.
Not just in this game, both games in the playoffs so far.
But I feel like yesterday was more impressive because
yeah.
C.W. Saunders is more overpowering. Let's just put it that way. They have the deeper, more skill sets.
They're a better team.
Yeah, definitely. They are a better team. But there was a point in the game when you said, boy, this could get ugly because it was 24-9. That's what
it was me or it was Jonathan?
I don't know, but everyone in the back was thinking the same thing. So it wasn't just people up here.
It was me, but as the broadcast went on, I tried to put that on him.
We saw that, and then he started to take the game over. He started to control the game. Now, the one thing I wish he did was dunk that ball, because that would have been incredible.
You were thinking from a highlight.
I'm thinking of a highlight. But at the same time, it's like he put the team on his back, and he was making shots. He was going. The only problem I had, and I guess it's something to do with a little bit of coaching, since I'm a coach. he started trying to make them call fouls.
Yeah.
And then you could see that the coach on the other side said, hey, just put your hands up, let him go. He's trying to initiate the contact to be able to get in. So to me, instead of going to the basket, take a little mid-range.
26 points in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just off the top of my head, I don't remember seeing at the high school basketball level one player score that much points in a quarter.
How many times have you scored 26 points in a high school game?
I've never scored 26 points in a high school
Exactly. He did that in one quarter. I think my highest was 22.
I remember low 20s. I never hit 26, and he did it.
I hit 22 against Prince Will when we scored 26 points on a windy day, and I just caught a bunch of air balls.
I've heard this story so many times about the offensive rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah, Marlon he tells you about it.
Yes, it's been confirmed by several people.
Mario,
been
Marlon.
Confirmed by our Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture and a mutual friend. So I want to stick with basketball. Let's move away from the BAISS and look at what Dayton Albury is doing.
My guy.
In college basketball. Now, we have been seeing Dayton be this player since he was, at the junior level?
Since Central Basket.
Excelled at every point. But even someone that's been watching him as long as I have, as long as you have, I am still surprised at the production that he's doing right away at the D1 level with Queen's University.
Am I surprised? No.
It's not a bad thing to be surprised.
Yeah, but I feel like the consistency I'm more surprised about, because I thought he would put games up where it would be like showing flashes of what it is, but it's the consistency he's doing it. We got to remember, Dayton was a kid. He was a star for us in the Central Basket when we won the bronze medal with him and Romad on the team. I'll never forget, we were at a practice here, and Ounce was coaching, and Dayton was like doing foolishness or whatever, and it wasn't any good. And you can see with the interview today, we'll throw some clips on of him with some of the stuff. But he comes in, and Ounce came in after the players, and he's like, this is not the Dayton Albury they're telling me about. You? And as a 17 or 16, 17-year-old kid, you're looking at Ounce, and Ounce is a figure. Like, he's a guard who's been at the D1 level. Like, people know who he is. He's the coach. And he comes in, and I feel like Dayton was just like, hold on, what? What's going on? Just like how when he got called into the office.
Right.
For his award, was like, hold on, what am I doing wrong? This and that. But
bro, at first I really did thought I was in trouble. I trying to figure out, I trying to backtrack like 2-3 weeks back, trying to figure out what I do. Like, but I couldn't think of nothing, so I just went into the office and I saw the media team inside there, and I thinking it's like, bro, I did something so bad that this about to go in the newspaper or something. Like, but when they break the news to me, it gave me a feeling of relief, and I blessed to be named newcomer of the week back to back at that.
I always find that funny because Ounce came in and he was like, this is not the Dayton Albury y'all was telling me about him.
You think he was being legit or just trying to light a fire under him?
More light a fire. Like, Ounce knows basketball, and he knows players. And, you got to remember, he played college ball. He knows what it takes.
At the highest level.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, it was him more doing something where it's like, yeah, this is the guy they're talking about. And that it didn't, light the fire, but it made him take it more seriously, I think.
Yeah.
It made him listen more, want to earn it more, want to prove to him, like, oh, you said that about me, I'll show you.
Because we know once he left here, once he went to Sunrise, he was expecting to fall, and a lot of guys are expecting to follow this because we saw what so many others who went through the Sunrise path did. They went straight D1. You have guys like Travis, guys like, of course, Buddy and Tum Tum all went Sunrise to D1. So that's what Dayton was expecting.
Yeah, Rashad. Charles Bain.
So many guys.
Yeah.
Didn't happen for Dayton that way. Went the JUCO route, but went to an elite JUCO in Chipola College, and he talked about how that prepared him. But to come out of the gate like this, averaging 18 a game on some of the
his
best
first college game, he
almost
had a triple-double. Like, think about that. Like, I remember, because me and Dayton, we talk all the time. I would say he's probably one of the closest players that I still talk to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm close to. If they all call me, I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to respond. But
Basketball bona fides.
I talk to him all the time, and I remember when he said, yeah, I'm going to go JUCO.
Yeah, most definitely, especially being coach under Donnie Tender. He prepared me, mentally and physically for this situation. Going at it in practice every day against future D1 players who, most of my JUCO teammates from last year, D1 now. So I would say Chipotle definitely prepared me for the situation.
The coach told me this and that, and I said, pretty much different paths for different players,
Yeah.
right? And when he said it was that JUCO, I said, no, that's a good JUCO to go to. That's not something to be ashamed of. You just got to go out there and prove it. And remember, his first year, he didn't get that many minutes. He was coming off the bench. He was wearing an ugly number 25. So it was just like, man, that just, look good, feel good thing ain't going on there.
That's
But
the
then when he
deal on
changed to
board.
that 13,
Everything changed.
everything changed.
And so now 13 is the number straight throughout.
13, he is, what is he, DA 13? I mean, we already have one DA. Now we have a DA 13. I don't know about marketing-wise, Dayton, you might have to change stuff.
Somebody got to change.
He did also talk to me about when he was going to Queens. He said, yeah, I'm going to go to Queens. It's D1. The coach says I should be getting minutes. I'll handle the ball. I'll be the point guard.
Yeah.
And I feel there's a lot of decisions that go into it. And
Yes, in practice and in games. I would say from like my first week in Queens, I was like, bro, this ain't much different from what I was doing my whole life. Like, I still a little point guard from Temple Christian, just going full speed down the court, making layups, getting on ones, finding my teammates. I wouldn't say my game changed, not one bit. I mean, I get, more talented, more stronger, and I learn the game more, but the game's still the game for me.
Dayton had to scratch and claw his way to get to the point
And that's
where he's
what
at.
I wanted to get to, the fact that his path was so unique. Everything wasn't just laid out for him. I remember being updated on stories of him going to this showcase and playing in this AAU tournament. And me and you sitting there thinking, well, when's the offer going to come?
Mm-hmm.
Like, his Chipotle career is coming to an end. What's the next move? What's it going to be?
And
there
you
was
don't know
some
how many
10
coaches that
there was so many 10 years moments at that point.
Yep. Because so many coaches ask me, we have, I would say, relationships, and I put that in quotes. When a coach asks you a question,
Yeah.
you'll be able to answer. And I always told them, I said, look, Dayton is a D1 player. He's a legit D1 player. You remember we played Dominican Republic in Central Basket, and he went up against Gene Montero, a 5-star recruit who was a bona fide 5-star recruit. Could have gone to any school. They were saying he was going to get drafted.
And Dayton was the better
And Dayton
player.
was the better player that day.
Yeah.
And Dayton helped carry the team. Him and Romat helped carry that team.
Obviously the skill level, the size difference. My JUCO conference was pretty competitive for the most part, but I would say, the size and the talent difference, more talented people at each position. Every night you step on the floor, you playing a bunch of talented dudes, so you got to come in every game locked in and ready to kill.
Do you
The victory, Tyler hit some big shots that game too.
He did.
I'm not gonna lie. Tyler Pinder, shout out to you for
He did.
hitting them shots. I ain't gonna forget that. Boy, see basketball's coming up soon. But yeah,
February is a basketball heavy month, so all of our dailies are going to be centered around basketball. But we look forward to see what's going to happen with him at the next level. One more year at Queens. Whatever happens next for him, what we do know for certain is that he will figure prominently into the national team program.
oh, definitely. Like,
at the senior level, because we already talked about what he did as a junior.
yeah, no, I mean, he already played for the senior men's national team. A lot of people forget that. Him and Josh already played for the senior men's national team with Buddy when we went down to the Virgin Islands.
Right.
So he's already, like, as he said, we could play the clip over this. It doesn't matter. He's already experienced what it's like to have those players on, to see what they do, to see the difference that they have. And
Yeah, at some point I look forward to being a part of that process. I played with them last summer when we went to the Virgin Islands, and just being around that atmosphere, with Buddy and them, just being around all the pros and seeing how they carry themselves and how they go about game days and practice and just getting up extra shots and stuff like that prepared me also for this. So, being able to go back and play with them would be such a good blessing, especially going into my senior year where I can learn a lot more.
what's more exciting, playing in the BAISS playoffs or playing? I don't see how.
It made a difference.
I don't see how he is not invited to a training camp this year.
You know he's going to be invited to a training camp. You don't have to do that.
I mean,
But
I got to talk to my sources, but I feel like it's a great chance.
were you going to look in the mirror?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to call Moses?
Yeah, let me call him right now.
All right. All right, that'll do it for 10YS Daily. We have a lot more basketball to go. We are going to switch from the BAISS to the GSSA. We'll be alternating back and forth throughout the course of the next 2 weeks. It'll be a lot of fun.